bergamot essential oil and some of its top uses. Oh, so uplifting. Such a wonderful smell. So bergamot, like many essential oils, it can often be adulterated and easily be contaminated. So when you're sourcing your essential oil, it is very, very important to have test results from third-party testing. Many people who source essential oils, or many companies rather who source essential oils, may not even know how the oil is produced. They may not have a connection to the farmers or the distillers and how it's produced, so they may not know what's going on and if the oil is pure or not. Bergamot can easily be contaminated and adulterated with other substances. It's a little more expensive to make than many of the other citrus oils, and therefore there is more incentive to try to cut it with other products to stretch it out. To make sure that it's pure, check the bottom of the bottle, and there'll be a batch number. Go to Source to You, and you should be able to check for third-party testing from the batch you've bought, which doTERRA will always have. That's a guarantee. All right, so what can we use bergamot for? First of all, a couple safety tips. The first one is what I just mentioned. Make sure that it's pure and not contaminated or adulterated with anything else. There can be anything from plastics to an actual other chemical that's in there. So for your own safety, make sure that it's a clean oil. Message me if you need some help with that. Second of all, if it is cold pressed oil, it is you can be sun sensitive. To make sure that you don't put the oil on any part of the skin that is going to be exposed to the sun, because it can increase the UV rays and increase that sun sensitivity to the skin, even possibly a burn. I haven't actually personally experienced a burn from accidentally using citruses, but I have had a weird tan on the spot where I used the oil. It's not the greatest thing. So just make sure that you use the citrus oils or bergamot oil in areas of the body that is not being exposed to the sun, such as the bottom of the feet, or areas where you're wearing clothing, or use it at night before bed, or diffuse it. All right, some top uses. So this oil, in its pure form, can be used internally. It is wonderful for the endocrine system and to cleanse out the thyroid, many of the other organs in the bodies. But it can also be used aromatically, like I just did, in your hands, in a diffuser, and it can also be used topically. So some top uses: it can be used if somebody is struggling with an addiction to something, applying it to the back of the neck, the bottoms of the feet, and regularly diffusing. What it's also wonderful for is if you're having trouble sleeping, then diffusing it at night with lavender or ylang-ylang or patchouli, it blends very, very well with. For joint and muscle cramps and issues, you can apply it to the area affected or take internally to help with that as well. So just dilute it with some fractionated coconut oil. You can add it for coughs and bronchial type like infections in the lungs. It helps to support that as well. So you can blend it with other oils that are supportive to the lungs and in the bronchial system, or take it internally to help dislodge any phlegm and things like that. So a lot of the citruses are really great for dislodging phlegm buildup and things like that. Bergamot is a wonderful oil for that as well. Any oily or skin with spots and things like that can be used as spot treatments, but again, a reminder, don't do it when you're going out in the sun. Do it before bed. Anybody who's dealing with appetite loss, this can be taken internally or breathed in as well. And most commonly, bergamot is known to be the oil of self-worth. So anybody dealing with self-worth issues, which is probably the majority of us, using this oil to support and bring out self-love and self-worth is really beautiful. So from an emotional balance, when used aromatically and topically, bergamot can bring us from a feeling inadequate to feeling worthy again. So it is wonderful for feeling self-reassured, assuring ourselves it's uplifting. It blends beautifully with ylang ylang, lavender, patchouli, sandalwood. You can do just 2 of them. You can mix them together. Those are some of my favorites. And you may already know bergamot is often used in colognes, specifically men's colognes, and it's also used to flavor the Earl Grey tea. Bergamot is normally sourced in Italy, in the Mediterranean area, and it's grown exclusively in Calabria, the province of southern Italy. And it's a tiny fruit. It kind of looks shriveled up, actually, and it's kind of like a sour orange with sweet lime kind of smell, and it can also be used, of course the fruit is also used as a juice, but not, the peel is used for the essential oil. It is very, very supportive to the central nervous system, so anybody dealing with issues around stress, low self-worth, feeling low, or feelings of depression or anxiety, bergamot is a top choice for that. So it's wonderful for support of the healthy nervous system, cardiovascular system, and cognitive functions even. And it really even relaxes the muscles. So this is a really great oil. Highly recommend having it in your cabinet. If you have any more questions on where to get your oils, good sourcing, anything like that, please message me personally or comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Ciao.